Welcome back to our channel, where today we dive deep into the gripping and tragic tale of Yakov Dzhugashvili, the son of Soviet leader Joseph Stalin, and the horrifying circumstances surrounding his execution. In this video, we'll unravel the life, hardships, and the fateful events that led to Yakov's untimely demise. Get ready to uncover a chapter of history filled with political intrigue, family struggles, and the chilling realities of war. And now let's get started. The story of Yakov Dzhugashvili is a tragic tale that serves as a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of political turmoil and the profound impact it can have on individuals and their families. Yakov's life, overshadowed by his father's prominence, is a testament to the human cost of power struggles and the sacrifices made during tumultuous times in history. Yakov Dzhugashvili, born on March 18, 1907 in the village of Baji near Kutaisi, was the firstborn son of Joseph Stalin, the leader of the Soviet Union from the mid-1920s to 1953. Despite his familial connection to one of the most influential figures of the 20th century, Yakov's life was far from privileged or sheltered. Instead, he faced a turbulent journey marked by personal hardships and political oppression. His mother, Ekaterina Svanidze, Stalin's first wife, died of typhoid fever 8 months later. Until the age of 14, Jacob was raised by his aunt, Alexandra Monosilidze. In 1921, Jacob was brought to Moscow, and he saw his father for the first time. Stalin had a new family. His son Vasily was born. Yakov spoke only Georgian, was silent and shy. Stalin dismissively called him a wolf cub, but Nadezhda Sergeyevna Alliluyeva, Stalin's second wife, took care of the young man. In Moscow, Yakov studied first at a comprehensive school on the Arbat, then at an electrical school in Sokolniki. During his studies, he was fond of chess and won all the tournaments. He graduated from school in 1925 with high marks in mathematics, physics, chemistry, and other disciplines. In 1930, Yakov entered the Moscow Institute of Transport Engineers at the Faculty of Thermal Physics and graduated in 1936, although in all questionnaires he indicated that he graduated from the institute in 1935. As a result of a conflict with his father, Yakov tried to shoot himself, but the bullet went right through, and he was ill for a long time. Stalin began to treat him even worse. At a meeting, he mockingly threw him, didn't hit. On April 9, 1928, in a letter to his wife, Stalin wrote, "Tell Nyasha from me that he acted as a hooligan and blackmailer, with whom I have and cannot have anything in common. Let him live where he wants and with whom he wants." Growing up in a politically charged atmosphere had a profound impact on Yakov's life. The revolutionary fervor, ideological battles, and cult of personality that permeated the Soviet Union directly affected him as the son of one of the country's most influential leaders. Yakov's experiences were shaped by the ever-present threat of political persecution, the need to navigate the treacherous landscape of loyalty and power, and the constant scrutiny that came with being part of Stalin's family. Yakov Dzhugashvili's enlistment in the Red Army was a significant turning point in his life. Motivated by a sense of duty and patriotism, Yakov joined the military during the early years of World War II. Despite his strained relationship with his father, his decision to serve reflected his commitment to his country. On June 22, 1941, Stalin admonished his son in a telephone conversation, "Go and fight." From June 27, 1941, Yakov was in the army as a senior lieutenant. In July 1941, during the intense fighting on the Eastern Front, Yakov was captured by German forces near the town of Smolensk. The news of his capture devastated his father, Joseph Stalin, who experienced immense anguish over his son's fate. Yakov's capture by the enemy became a source of psychological warfare, as the Germans saw an opportunity to exploit their hostage for political leverage. Yakov's life as a prisoner of war was marked by extreme hardship and inhumane treatment. The Germans subjected him to physical and psychological abuse, aiming to break his spirit and use him as a pawn in their negotiations with Stalin. Yakov endured grueling forced labor, meager rations, and constant surveillance, facing the constant threat of punishment or death. Efforts were made by both the Soviet Union and international intermediaries to negotiate Yakov's release. However, these negotiations were fraught with difficulties and ultimately proved unsuccessful. Despite the challenges, Yakov himself never gave up hope and made several daring attempts to escape from captivity. Unfortunately, each escape attempt ended in failure, deepening his sense of despair and isolation. As the war reached its final stages and the Soviet forces closed in on Germany, the circumstances surrounding Yakov's captivity took a dark turn. The German captors, aware of the approaching defeat, sought to strike a blow against Joseph Stalin personally by executing his son. The decision to proceed with Yakov's execution was driven by a mix of vengeance, desperation, and a desire to inflict psychological pain on Stalin. After the Battle of Stalingrad, the Germans, through the mediation of the Swedish diplomat Count Folke Bernadotte and the Red Cross, approached Stalin with a proposal to exchange his son for Field Marshal Friedrich von Paulus and several dozen high-ranking officers of the Sixth Army, who were in Soviet captivity. Hitler made a promise to the people of Germany to bring the generals home. What Stalin thought then about this exchange can only be guessed today. As was commonly believed in the post-war period in the Soviet Union, the leader of the USSR coldly replied to the German proposal, "I do not change a soldier for a field marshal." However, there is no documentary evidence that this phrase was actually uttered. As the leader's daughter Svetlana Alliluyeva recalled, a little later than these events, in the winter of 1943 to 1944, an agitated and annoyed father once mentioned that failed deal. The Germans offered to exchange Yasha for one of their own. I will bargain with them? No, in the war, as in the war. On April 14, 1943, Yakov Dzhugashvili met a gruesome end. The exact details of his execution remain clouded in uncertainty and conflicting accounts. Some sources suggest that during a failed escape attempt, Yakov was shot by the German guards. Others claim that he died by suicide, unable to bear the unbearable conditions of his captivity. The true circumstances surrounding his death may never be fully revealed. Yakov's execution has been the subject of intense speculation and controversy. Some argue that the guards murdered him out of personal animosity or under orders from higher-ranking officers. Others believe that Yakov took his own life, driven to despair by the relentless torment of his captivity. The lack of definitive evidence and the conflicting testimonies have contributed to the ongoing debate surrounding the true nature of his death. Yakov Dzhugashvili's execution left an enduring legacy. He is remembered as a tragic victim of political circumstances, symbolizing the immense sacrifices made by individuals caught in the web of power struggles and ideological conflicts. Commemoration efforts continue to honor Yakov's memory, ensuring that his story serves as a reminder of the human cost of war and totalitarian regimes. His harrowing experience and untimely demise serve as a solemn testament to the atrocities and tragedies of the past. In conclusion, Yakov Dzhugashvili's military career, captivity, and the horrific circumstances surrounding his execution paint a vivid picture of the profound impact of war and political oppression on individuals and their families. His story stands as a somber reminder of the human cost of conflict and the enduring importance of remembering the victims of historical injustices. Thank you for joining us on this historical adventure. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more captivating stories from the past. Until next time.